This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and the Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at tarainsight.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. And my guest today is Jacquie Jordan. And you know, she is TV guestpert. She is on the news every week now. So you see her all the time on all the big headlines that are happening within the world. And so welcome, Jacquie.
So happy to see you. I love that we color coordinated psychically.
That is so funny, isn't it? We wore the same color.
We got the radar love memo.
We did. And you know, it's funny because Jacquie and I have a lot of the radar love memos. We do. You know,
totally tune into each other. It's like, I mean, we just like sinking.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, her and I, you know, we're kind of a fearless girls in the, you know, well, most ways. So the thing is we were together. Oh gosh, I don't know, a year and a half ago. We were driving straight into a hurricane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I reached
baby
out.
Rescue. That's all my thing is big baby rescue.
Yeah, it was Hurricane Laura. Yep, Hurricane Laura was coming down, and we synced up.
Yeah, and it did a lot of damage to that area too. So we went in, you know.
Yep, we did our job, came out.
That's right, and beat it out.
But there's something about the way because I think we relate at such a core level because we both operate from stoic knowing, just stoic knowing, and we back it with our action, and we don't get caught up in the words or the story or the drama. It's just like, we know, it's our intuition, we take action, we do it, done. And not many people do that. They talk themselves right out of it. They get caught up in story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, because you can get, you know, because I was just reminded of this morning, the weather in, you know, back east, all over the country. And, you know, I was, you know, the schools shut down when I was in the South recently, and they said, oh, it's going to snow. And, you know, you gotta get all your supplies and stuff. And then there wasn't even a flurry that day. It was hilarious. I was like, oh my God, all this for, you know,
yes.
Yeah, but you know, but it does happen. And when it does happen, it's awful, but it was just funny that, you know.
And I've also learned that down here in the South, when it does snow, they don't have like I grew up in the Northeast, I grew up in New Jersey. So inclement weather was just part of life, you know, warming up your car, shoveling, you know, the snow, you know, scraping the ice off your car. It was just part of it. I noticed in the South, people just don't even have snow shovels. So like the smallest amount of snow is handy, incapacitates the community. They just don't even have snow plows. It's like, so they get very freaked out easily.
Right. Well, and you don't have a snowplow, you know, you don't have much going on.
Spoken to a girl from Alaska.
Right. Because Alaska, you got to have those. You got to have just a few little niceties, you know, and that's that snowplow coming through and put a little gravel on the road, or back in the day it was salt. Yeah. They probably still do salt.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's very different. But the whole country is cold right now.
Right. And I'm a real, you know, anytime I'm in the snow, it's funny because everybody just hands me over the car.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You're the snow girl. You know how to drive it.
It is so true. Yes. But you can ride horses, you can drive trucks, you know, so I'd be handing you the keys.
U-Hauls, you name it.
I've been in the car with you when you outran a hurricane. So you are the designated driver of many, many choices, Tara.
Right. Thank you. But it's hilarious. Yeah. So anyway, so tell me kind of what the TED Talks.
Yeah. So
that.
TV Guestpert. So we're TV Guestpert. Just my background. So I'm the curator currently of TEDx Franklin. All the TEDx's are independent organizations made up of volunteers. And I have the license, the privilege through TED to have the license for the TEDx Franklin in Franklin, Tennessee, a very prominent suburb of Nashville, Tennessee. And we're doing our inaugural event March 19th, which we're really, really excited about. And the community is really excited about it. So there's been a lot of real enthusiasm and support with it. But my involvement with TEDx and TED overall has been over the last decade, just through TV Guestpert, we have worked to place clients in TED Talks because the prestige and the accessibility of becoming a TED speaker is really, really revolutionary for what we do, which is build media platforms for our clients, especially if we're building out a speaking platform. Having the credential of a TEDx or TED speaker is really impressive. So we became TEDx snobs at TV Guestpert, and we kind of cultivated, there's a ton, that we could cultivated a 400 list worldwide. And TEDx works, everyone is independent, and it's community driven. So they have their own schedule, they have their own submission period, but we synced up with a lot of them. And we were really proud when we could successfully get a Guestpert onto a TEDx platform stage. And we did one of the, and the reason I say I'm a snob is I liked the TEDx events that were really well produced, high quality production, high quality content, and not all TEDx's do that. And in fact, from where we're from, Los Angeles has, probably 50 TEDx, Pacific Palisades, Culver City, Santa Monica, Venice. And, for the height of the Hollywood area, some of them were really, really embarrassingly produced. So we became a TEDx snob. And so that I had been following TEDx. I became a TEDx speaker at the top of COVID for the University of Delaware, which is my alma mater. And my talk is a Generation X, Why We Deserve New Branding. And my humble TEDx talk has over like 60,000 views, which tickles me to death. And you were part of that whole creative process when that was coming down the line for me. And it just kind of got thwarted because everything got shut down in TEDx. So now I've had the speaker experience, and now I've got the license experience. So we're doing our inaugural event in Franklin, which reminds me of my journey with publishing, because I have a New York Times best-selling publishing company. And first I was a book author, like so I had gone the book author process, and I'd had the literary agent, and I sent out the Blurry course.
Right, and that book is Get on
still,
TV.
Yes, Get on TV, and it still sells. Published by Sourcebooks out of Illinois. And then through that, I helped people write books. So it seems like a lot of my life path is like, I do it myself, I template it, and then I open it up for other people to do, because my dharmic mission is to help other people express themselves in the world with their God-given talents and gifts. And so TEDx as a platform is that opportunity for me.
I love it.
People. Yeah.
I know. It's really fun. It's really fun to watch. And you guys just roll it out and do it. And, it's like fabulous. It's like how we used to do it. We used to just cowboy.
Yes.
Let's go.
Well, again, I always flag my inspiration and credit to you, because you and Dick Sutphen were templating this, especially in the self-help world, way before anybody else was doing it. Late 80s, early 90s, you had your own publishing company, which was epic for the time. And you were, you had all, I remember, seeing and working with your bookstore list. Like you did it before there was an internet, before, everybody could do self-publishing. You guys were epic publishers of material all along. So you know this better than I do. And I was kind of a puppy when I saw what you were doing, and never knew that would kind of be a purposeful life expression for myself, which is how that ended up happening. But I kind of followed in your footsteps, kind of a little bit like a kid sister.
I love it. So, it's funny. Hunter just put up a lot of our home videos onto he did on YouTube, and it's called the Sutphen Family, and it's really funny. One of them is the house and the office,
Yes.
and it's our Malibu house and our office. And so the office, it was just like, oh my God, we had 5,000 square feet and it was full, of boxes.
Shelves. Jason, obviously co-host. Yeah, Jason
Oh
used
my
to,
God,
he
thank
was the
God
day-to-day runner. Yeah, but
Oh my
Mr.
God.
Alm.
Yeah, Mr. Ohm.
But it was,
And he's
epic.
not here today,
Yeah.
Mr. Ohm.
Mr. Alm. But it was that was an epic time period, and it's so amazing how timelines will come to an end, but this you held an amazing window open, and the talent and the gifted people that came through both your living room and your warehouse, your products and the workshops and the seminars that of course you continue to do. But that time period was very, very unique because there weren't a lot of people doing it at that time.
Yeah, and you see the people coming through, Richard Christian Matheson,
talented, yep.
All the talent, tons of talent. Tons
of
writers.
It's kind of like if you get those opportunities where you're like sitting, that you're in a moment of like talent and creativity. That's how I always felt when I was at your house. I was just like, oh my God, I am in a moment. Like this is an experience of a timeline, and it's just massive creativity. And that's what I have. So anybody can see that video that Hunter put together, which is really well done. It's exactly what my experience was of that whole time period of
we still make a lot of magic.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Just the paradigm of how you do it is so different now, because you do text messages with your clients now. You create very individual MP3s based on what they need in terms of hypnosis. So the medium that you very different. You don't need a 5,000 square foot warehouse anymore.
No, you don't need that anymore.
Exactly.
It would be fun to do still, really fun way to, and, and I had the bookstore and I had the, it was just like, so much stuff that we were dealing with.
It was very physical then, it was a very physical, and now you do it. It was so funny because the way we do it or we operate business now, you can be all over the world, but in one place. But not with other people, because everything is so digital and content is digital, and our accumulation of wisdom is now digital. So it's just a very different.
But I'm around a lot of people, like my clients and stuff. I see my clients in person.
Oh, who needs to play Where in the World is Waldo? All you have to do is Where in the World is Tara Sutphen. Honestly, you literally are like a witch. I'm like, wait, she's in Oregon. Wait, she's in the South. Wait, she's at a Malibu ranch. This kind of just looks like from day to day.
Right. Well, that's it. I
love that.
And I am, I'm renting a ranch for Sedona, so I rent the ranch for Sedona, and I'm having the psychic development, a seminar, a psychic seminar.
Sedona psychic seminar. How long have you been doing your Sedona circles?
Oh gosh, I've been doing them since 1982. I think we've been doing them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we did them, and then I did the mystic training, and then and I have the Vortex Mystery School. But I've been doing the psychic seminars for since 1982 probably.
And so tell me more about what you're going to be doing on this event.
The ranch. Well, the ranch is so beautiful because it has a labyrinth and it has a new medicine wheel that's probably been the labyrinth is incredible. In 1,000 years, people are going to wonder what they were doing on this ranch, really, because Sedona is probably going to live as a Mecca anyway. And then you have, this amazing, really standing stone labyrinth that this woman has done. And so then there's a new medicine wheel. The new medicine wheel has been put up probably about a year ago. And it's absolutely a guy who does medicine wheels, and it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic one.
And you're going to be pulling on those equinox energies, right?
Yeah, we're going to be there at that spring equinox.
Yeah.
So, and full moon, I think I'll have a full moon ceremony the night before, and on the 18th. And then and then what's happened too on that ranch is the Rinpoches have come. And they're now, they've created the blessing of the land where they're putting up a stupa, and they'll put up a stupa that will look out onto one of the vortexes.
Nice. Oh, that's nice. And you're already there. You're already there in preparation for it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So no, not now.
Oh, no, not now. Okay.
Not now, but yeah, I will be. And I'll be there in the middle of March.
The first time it was in Sedona, as I came to one of your and Dick's events, and so it was obviously a long time ago, but the energy was so potent to me that I didn't sleep for 7 days. Like I could not sleep. It was like a bell rang and it was just like, zzz, like I was like, and it's just funny. Like, obviously I think I've calibrated into a higher frequency within myself to be able to handle it. But at the time I did not sleep at all. I was like, oh, does anybody sleep in this place? It was so potent.
It is. Well, it still is, I think that every seminar is just like, it's so much fun. That everybody's just, they're there to learn. They're there on vacation. There's very, very few that I have found that stay depressed or stay down when you're in the group like that, because, everybody's sharing and they're really, everybody kind of learns from one another. So it's really great. I do a whole, a pact anyway, when you go in, we do a prayer pact.
Do you still have openings that we can share with people?
Yes.
And
yeah.
great.
So the openings for the psychic seminar, it's the 19th and 20th. And then I'm doing a shaman summit too, where I'm bringing in an elder, and he's a Lummi Indian. So he's a violinist that is just incredible. He's with the Seattle Symphony.
Oh, how beautiful is that?
He's so amazing. So his name is Swelcanum, which means, I think it's like down by the river, service for the people, something. And so he's going to be there. And then I have Soaring Eagle, who's, he does axotonal sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And so he actually shifts your energy field. And then Jason's going to be there, the Om Master there, and Mr. Om, and Om Tarot Wizard, and me.
That is so fabulous.
Last time it was magical. We had just in magical time. So we're hoping that, everybody who comes.
Well, I'm going to send people your way. Is it the Source Moon website that they sign up for you, or is it Tara Sutphen? Where do you want me to send people?
Well, they can go to tarainsight.com.
Got it.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's awesome.
So what are you doing? So you have the March 19th too.
Yeah, we have the March 19th, right? Yep. On the solstice for TEDx Franklin. I've had the invite to co-license, co-produce a TEDx in Sarasota, and then the TEDx Hollywood. So we're right now looking at calendar dates to synchronize those out. Once I get through the March event, I'll understand the cadence of calendaring, what you need to do it. But what's so fabulous is, again, it's an organization just of volunteers. And we've had some amazing speaker coaches from all over the country, step forward in order to cultivate and create a container of content for the chosen speakers, or the speakers that are participating in the event. And the content, the TEDx asks for two things. They don't want topics. They don't want anything divisive. So no pushing religion, no pushing politics, no, as they say, bad science. But and it's not even a motivational speech or an inspirational speech, which we've had to redirect a lot of the speakers and speaker nominations from that. But it answers two questions. It is, what is the big idea, and why is it worth sharing? And that's the genesis of the talk. And, our youngest speaker is a 17-year-old prodigy, and we have got all the way up to 75 years old, and some really surprise speakers in between as well, that I think will really rock the socks off of people for TEDx in terms of conversation.
I love TEDx's. I do. I love them. And if I want to relax, I listen to, TEDx.
Yeah.
And I also, I always go back to my go-to of Alan Watts.
Yes.
I just love him.
Yes, love Alan Watts. And I just even love his voice.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I just love his voice. And, it doesn't date itself. It's so timeless, but he's got such a distinct, powerful voice. Like, what are you focusing on? What do you, he just makes esoteric questions so tangible and so specific. I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. He's so great. So I'm so glad the coaching and stuff, like, cause I think, oh, I want the coaching.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
So we want you to be a speaker too. We would love to have you share your big idea.
It's really funny because Jason, he's like, you're going to have Jackie on Friday. He said, he goes, 1, 2, 3, Tara, what's your subject for TEDx?
What's your big idea? Oh, I love that. He's prepping you for it. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great. It's amazing because, I think just in general, we all have we do have big ideas. We don't have, I don't know if we have thousands and thousands of big ideas, but usually I think most people through their experience and wisdom hold like a bounty full of maybe a half dozen really big ideas that are really worth spreading and that other people would benefit from. And because Franklin, Tennessee is a really progressive community in terms of talent, creativity, and content. And I think, I'm not speaking about at all on behalf of the community, but I believe that they are, especially if the Franklin area is trying to no longer be the kid sister of Nashville. I think they're trying to find their own voice as a community. And so I think it'll be really interesting, the conversations that come from it, but it should be really good. But like I said, Sarasota has reached out to me. In fact, we're going to be borrowing our big TEDx letters from them, the ones that we have to put on the stage from Sarasota. And then we're in the process of waiting for license approval, and we'll see if we get it for TEDx Hollywood. So there'll be more than enough opportunities to go around. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's really exciting. Yeah, I'm so excited. Anyway, you're always I named the show New Innovation. New innovations, because Jackie is always about the new innovation. And so you are always reinventing yourself all the time. I mean, as far as, it's like we have one project, but then we go into the next, whatever is the next opportunity. And that's just it. I love that one little koan almost of where, the guy's sitting on top of the house, and God's talking to him, and, everybody comes to save him, and he doesn't do it because
take the boat. Yes.
He doesn't take the boat. He doesn't take
the helicopter.
Right. There's all these things.
He gets to heaven and he's like, God, you didn't come for, I had all this faith in you and you didn't come for me. And God's like, what are you talking about? I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. I sent you the cavalry. Right. He's like, what do you want from me? He's like, and then the guy's like, oh, I was just waiting for you. He's like, yeah, but I came to you through all of these forms.
Right. All these human angels. And so that's just it, the opportunities that present themselves to us. And, how do we recognize that we're given opportunities? How are we, and that's where, I love hypnotherapy. I mean, that is.
Well, what I love about your hypnotherapy, because especially where it meets with what I do, is you deal with like the blocks that people have. Mm-hmm. So people will come to me with a lot of desire to create. Like I want a following. I want an online course. I want to get my message out into the world. What happens a lot in what I do is like, I'll open the door and they don't see the door. They don't even see the door open, let alone see the door. Like, I know, I'm like, this is the opportunity. You're paying us for this. Like, it's right there. Step, move, and so what I love what you do, because I see it all the time, highly successful people still have blocks.
Yes.
And so, they say that they want something, but they can't see the opportunity, or they want to fist fight me or wrestle me for the very opportunity that they're paying me for to create for them. And, and sometimes opportunity, just like the story you just shared, doesn't come in exact, they want
it doesn't come in exactly how you
like
see
you
it.
Want it to. Yeah. A lot of times opportunity, this because you work with the alchemy of energy, a lot of times it's just about saying yes, so you create the momentum to the next yes. Like, so I always say to my clients, it's always a yes until it's a no. Like we
Right.
always say yes. There's like, unless there's like a real definitive reason based on some sort of information we didn't have prior to this moment, it has to be a yes, because otherwise if we start saying no, because I
Oh.
deal with opportunity, it dries out.
Domino. It becomes a domino effect. No.
Wasteland,
Yes.
wasteland. Others, I could write it off. And my team, who works so passionately hard for everybody, they even know it. Like the minute they start getting that wall of resistance and no, and there's little excuses like, oh, this porridge is too hot, this porridge is too cold. Like they want to give up, because they know, they know that we've just now been walked into a wasteland, which is why I so value what you do, because people do have these very unconscious blocks to to their desires, or to their potential, and so we can see their potential, and then we get to see what opportunity looks like, because that's what we get to bring in. But I can't get someone to, I can't do it for them.
Right.
And so,
well, that's just it. You can't do it for somebody. It's you have the dream, you're speaking it, but are you, coming into action? And
the clients, I always say my clients that are teachable, and I'm not saying like teachable because all my clients are sophisticated in their own right, but teachable with the ability to be humble about okay, we don't understand everything about media, because who would, but they're willing to learn like a certain way of doing it, because I always say I'm only as good at bringing in opportunity as you are understanding what it is. Right. So your work is to understand why it's an opportunity. My work is to bring it to you, but I'm only as good as you doing that. And so if a client can be teachable on that level, then I can bring them the opportunities. And obviously, we've got a retention with us over a decade. Who have become, multimillionaires. They run big life coaching businesses, New York Times bestselling published authors, people with their own television shows. One of my clients just has a really fat movie deal right now with Tyler Perry Productions that just got funded. So it's like it's there for the taking, but it doesn't happen as an overnight success, as as a prolific
step.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. And
keep going.
That's exactly it.
Don't give up, because you might just be going right over the top.
That's exactly it. It's exactly it. So like, what are you committed to? Are you committed to the outcome, or are you committed to the process? Because the process will get you there. The outcome is elusive.
Always elusive. Yeah. Always. Even when you're there, you don't even sometimes recognize it.
No.
That's the thing. People don't really recognize it. And that's why people lose it, because they don't recognize it. And it's nice to be able to tap in. If you're making money, then, and try to wrestle the money, because, can go out as fast as it's coming in. So you got to be really careful on that one. I mean,
boy, have we seen that.
I've seen that so much. Yeah.
Yes. And I know you deal with people with their money blocks in your work and your hypnosis, and I, as a business owner, very careful about taking the clients that I take on, have to have a respectful, business sense of solvency. If a client comes to me and they're looking to put our services on their credit card as this is my do or die moment to make my business work, we don't take that. So I pay attention to people's money sobriety when I'm taking them into a client. And, we can make, do services big or do services small based on, budgets. But what I pay attention to someone's money sobriety and how they're doing it with their business, because that also affects everything. Someone who's in a money panic is never going to be a good client for us. Someone who's just, hoping that we're a lottery ticket for them. Yeah. To become successful, that was not going to work that won't be successful for either party. If somebody's looking to bring us on as a team because they have outgrown their own innate ability for exposure, which should naturally happen, and then you bring a team in to do that for you, and then we become an arm team to a solvent business or business-minded person, then we can work to exemplify or expand their business. But I do pay attention to money sobriety with people a lot. And it's so funny. I'm like really grateful for that. Like we just brought in a speaking deal for one of our clients, which was we were able to get our client a paid $100,000 pre-advanced speaking engagement from Uber Global for this coming year. So like the money is there, as like you can bring money in. It's not, but we have to be clean. We have to be aligned with it. We have to be clear with it. We have to be respectful to it. It has to be transactional, and especially in these 2022 energies, it has to be win, win, and win. Like not just the polarity wins, but the good for all has to win. Otherwise it's not there.
Right.
So I can only imagine the stories that you deal with too, from your hypnosis side with people with their money blocks.
Yeah. Plenty of money blocks. Well, and it's usually fear. It's always fear. That's where it comes in. And you can be fearful for other people and not necessarily really so much fearful for yourself. But that the powers that be have, they that's what they want. I mean, like they've been doing it to us for years now. Fear this, fear that, fear everything. And the thing is that stop being a deer in headlights, move your body into action on what you want, period.
Yeah.
Because it's all out there.
It's all out there.
We create our lives. I mean, it is not an illusion. Yes. It will be an illusion if you don't create it.
We have to be responsible creators.
Yes.
Responsible creators.
And that's what we're here for. I've been writing this book, and it's how I am with automatic writing and stuff. And so I've asked all these really amazing questions of them, of the team, because I created a team on the other side, and to answer some of our questions that we would like to know. And so they tell us, like why between their world and our world, because we'll be back in that world in a jiffy, which is not, isn't fun to think about, but
it's the reality.
It's reality. It's reality.
We watched 2 years of people trying to avoid the fear of an inevitability, which is an absolute certainty of this very life we have.
Right.
Okay. I was like, okay, this is a movie I really don't want to have to sit through, but okay, if we collectively have to do it together.
Collectively, we had to, as a whole world.
Yeah, had to do that for the very thing that is a very inevitability. So yes, it does. So it is about make the moment count. And I appreciate what you said about the powers that be. Have done everything to terrorize us out of the power of the responsibility of our present moment.
Yes.
Where we are only creators in the moment. There is no past, there is no future. It's like, what are we doing right now? What action are we taking towards creating our moment now? And I know, I love what, you talk about this all the time, but I love, we're no victims. We're no victims.
No. And Americans, we were all risk takers in our genetic makeup. So, you really are gonna but people are a little, they're risk takers in your genealogy. So
love that.
Your DNA. Well, and I talked about it in Whispers in the Wind in 2003 when I made that video. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like, come on.
And that's still still up on YouTube. But yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, well, in that way, and it'd be timeless. It's a timeless piece.
It's an important timeless conversation.
And it's too bad I didn't keep doing those, but I got talked out of those. I got bullied into not doing them.
Yeah. Isn't that
because
funny?
I couldn't. It was just that, I had a jealous husband at the time.
Well, it's so funny. And it is it's one of those life hurdle lessons where we all have to face how we've allowed, how something outside of us is diminished our radiant light, our radiant creativity, our instinct, our gut experience. And,
well, and he was just such an innovator, my husband at the time. And so he didn't like that
everybody
I was
else innovating.
And especially, I mean, because he saw me kind of move hurdles, when I was nominated for Grammys. And so, and I was doing this. And
at
so
5 seconds as a puppy who's did your first recording. that could intimidate people.
Right. My first, yeah, they were my first recordings. Yeah. He was, yeah, it's okay. You know, and we all, it was all masterful and all fun. And
Yes. Yeah.
I was on the adventure, and I'm still on the adventure, and you're still on the adventure. And that's what counts, doesn't it?
Totally.
Yeah. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, and as long as, you know, forgiveness is your passageway, you can keep moving through, you know, then the obstacles keep, you know, self-forgiveness.
Right.
You know, because we don't know what we don't know until we know it, you know, and then I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense, but I didn't know it, you know,
Right.
Whoops, sorry. Now I know it, you know, won't do it again to myself or others, you know, sometimes how that is.
Right. Right. And I think that's it, you know, that, you know, a lot of times people get stuck, you know, people are stuck. Others can make you feel less than, because, you know, that's part of the, like what's been happening, you know, in the world. But, you know, you have people like fear, don't do that.
And, you know, I think, and we're all impressionable. So we take imprints, and we, I think as humans, we internalize so much, and so much of that is not ours to even be internalized, but we don't know it until then it's been internalized. So it becomes part of our operating system at a subconscious level, where that's where you come in to you know, to unearth that. Because, you know, a lot of, you know, I mean, I've had some massive blocks in my life, and, you know, as smart as I like to think I am, you know, sometimes you can't see your blind spots, you know, like that is the most difficult.
Well, you get to what you do, which I think is so beautiful with you, is, you know, you're like it gets tough, but the tough get going. You know, you just, no, I can go around this, and
yes,
I can do, you see an opportunity. That's it really is it. You know, it's like life gives you a few blocks so that you jump the hurdle.
Yeah.
And so that way, then you're jumping the hurdle for everybody else too. And that's maybe what they've done to me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call us polarity integrators.
Yes.
Or transmuters, because we really do jump the hurdle so that other people have less hurdles to jump.
Yeah.
You know, but we've had to integrate it, and we have to integrate it internally. We have to take it all the way in internally. And then, what makes us both good at what we do, and I think why we resonate so well, is that that's why our knowing is so formidable and so stoic. That's why we know to jump in a car and outrun a hurricane if we need to be, because we know it's like, it's not a question. We're not operating in doubt, because we have earned that wisdom, you know, that through our life challenges, you know. So.
Yeah, and maybe we just discern more because of that. Because I mean, you know, we knew the timing. The timing was going to be this. This is what we need to do. Now, if we get the car breaks down or something, that's not going to be good. Or, you know, the traffic gets weird, but, you know, we did it.
Yes. Yeah. But it was just like focused knowing, you know, and and people, when I'm in that zone, people know to get out of my way too. Like, it's like, and, you know, they know, like you know, Scott calls it a cenotes moment, because when we were in Tulum, Mexico, I don't even know why, but I got an itch to go to the cenotes, and I just knew we needed to go to the crystal waters, you know. So I was like, hail a cab, pay the driver for the day, we're going. It was like, you know, and then 10 seconds, you know, within 10 minutes, we had our backpacks packed and we were going, and we were just getting to know each other. And he'll always say, oh, Jacquie, when Jacquie has a cenotes moment, get out of her way. But it was like, you know, when I'm in that knowing and I'm in that focus, like, it's kind of like, it's the certainty is so clear. Like it's like the oceans part ways, you know, it's like, and that's kind of what it was like, you and I in the driving through ahead of the hurricane. We never hit the hurricane because we were always ahead of it.
Right.
But it's that.
And I have more t-shirts from Scott. Crazy, funny t-shirts.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yes. For TEDx right now, he's making Talk is Cheap. Sponsor. I'm a TEDx Franklin sponsor.
Right.
So that's what he's doing. Talk is cheap.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, he and his t-shirts are certainly fun.
T-shirts. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm glad. And he does some fun stuff. He's such a fun partner.
He's creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. He's very creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun together.
I know. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it's a magical story, really, because, Jackie was married before, and to someone who is one of my best friends too. And she met him at this beautiful restaurant in Malibu. And then we had Patrick's memorial at that beautiful restaurant.
Place.
Yeah, just out on the beach and by that restaurant. And so it was just interesting. That was the finish. It was the beginning and the finish.
Yes.
Jackie. And then she met Scott there at that restaurant.
Yep.
It was divine.
Divine. And I've never been back since.
Yeah.
I think it was the 3 times I was there.
You don't have to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny because it's like, when you have a symbolic sign in your life like that, like there is no other dispute. Like, it wasn't like I went there 100 times. It was like, no, I only was there for those three
times.
That's it.
Isn't that funny?
And that's what happened. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, and funny, like you've been a part of all of that weaving.
Yes.
Like that subtlety hasn't fallen short on me either.
Right. And my favorite new thing that they just did, that Jackie did a clip for Scott's birthday of their RV. And that was fabulous.
Thank you.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you. You were part of that too. Yeah, that was a wild. So it's on our family YouTube channel. I think it's on his Cooper River Entertainment YouTube channel. But it's
I have to. Yeah, because I was trying to show it to somebody the other day, and I really wanted it.
Yeah.
So it's on the
Cooper River Entertainment. Yeah. Yes. And so are some of his home remodel bills that we've done. But the trip across the country and the 43-foot RV was
it was beautiful.
Yeah, glad we did that. Yes. I don't need to do it again, but I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, you don't need to do it again. No.
Yeah. So what are we thinking of this 2022, these new energies in 2022? I think today is the first day Mercury is direct coming into.
Yes. Mercury was direct on February 1st. So it's feeling now a little more normal now that it's.
I feel normal, but I feel a little bit more normal. I would say that was.
And then was Chinese New Year of the Tigers coming in, which is just fabulous energy. And, it's fast. It's going to be fast. And, because Tiger is so powerful. And then we have, we had Candlemas and Imbolc, Groundhog Day, which is, those are seasons. All the Sabbats have to do with the season, at the season of the earth. And so Imbolc and Candlemas is right in between spring equinox and as winter solstice. And
this is the day the brooms stand up. Like you can stand a broom up on that day. And
I think so. And then however it falls.
Yeah.
It is a marker of where you should do or where you should go. Yeah. And it's all about new love and romance, and because it's the light, we're gaining more light in the world for the season. So you're starting to get your seeds out. You're starting to not plant the seeds, but beginning to get the seeds ready, so that you're creating your life. So it's all a cycle about going forward into survival, and really, so and the light of the world. Yeah, wow. I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the
yeah.
And Cheyenne always used to cook for him,
Yes, the best witches chef out there.
Yeah, she is. And she would and everything would be by scratch. And the chef there, Chef Cheyenne.
But it doesn't surprise me because, the whole time I was ever at your house, you were always baking, cooking, feeding the family, that's kind of what Cheyenne grew right up into, but it's great to see that she like just took that on, that alchemy on, because, cooking is so alchemical.
Yeah.
I don't have that gene.
Yeah. The cooking. Well, no, but you don't have to. Scott does.
Yes. Right.
Scott probably cooks up a storm.
Yes, he does. It's not amazing because I don't have any interest in it. I could, no interest in the kitchen.
It's funny because I wouldn't have said that I had that much interest in the kitchen, but I've just, over the years, when I had the family, it was 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And so, you do it because, I had kids that spanned that 30 years. So, with school and all the rest of it. So yeah, I just cooked. So I think I've become, whereas Cheyenne always loves to chop vegetables and she says it's so relaxing. And that was never my take, never. But I'm a good cook only because I had to cook.
You had to do it.
So I'm an innovative cook, all the time. But my whole thing these days is lowest of low sodium. That's been my thing. Sugar, cut the sugar, cut the sodium, everybody. Yeah.
And both are sneaky. Both are really, really sneaky. Like you don't realize where the sugar is and you don't realize where the sodium is. Like you really have to look. Yeah.
You won't deal with high blood pressure. You won't deal with a lot of the, ailments that people get with sodium.
Yeah.
So it's, like people would say, oh, I'm not eating white bread. I'm not doing, well, really, what's the sodium content on that?
Yeah. And it's sneaky.
Because if it's low, you actually could have a piece of that. It's not going to be the sugar level, but, but look at everything.
Yeah.
Look at everything. You can have one piece a day. You can get around some of these things if you're, being a little more, the dog's been coming over.
I love that. I see the wagging tail. It's so awesome.
Yeah, the ghosty tail. Yeah.
Yeah. So the sodium, is definitely and sugar, definitely. I think of all the sneaky places that they come up on you that you don't know. So you just to really kind of keep your food really basic.
Yes.
In order to avoid a lot of that.
Well, and you don't have to even keep it that basic. It's just no salt. Like I'll put a lot of herbs with everything, a lot of, onions or garlic or whatever that you want, but you just have to, and make your own spaghetti sauce. That seems just ridiculous, those jars, because it says, it's only 480 milligrams salt. Well, yeah, for a quarter of a cup.
Yeah.
That means there's like 20,000 milligrams of sodium in it. So it's like
I don't even think, I don't know, it didn't taste good to me. I mean, honestly, if it's a jar or a can, it doesn't taste good, but
no, but some cans are low.
Yeah.
So, and not everybody can just buy, fresh all the time, especially when they're now snowed in.
And having been getting ready for the apocalypse over the last couple of years, because we didn't know which the heck direction we were heading in.
Eating our rations when we got them.
Exactly. And being happy for it. So yeah. It's been a wild ride. I'm trying to think of other predictions for this 2022 energy, but I have to say, I hate to be a Mercury retrograde slave, but I did not enjoy this past Mercury retrograde. Yeah, I definitely felt it. It was discombobulated. Simple communications were chaotic or backwards or twisted, like just all of that they say. And it's interesting what a collective impact. It squared your sun.
So it probably was hard for you.
Oh, it was one of the harder ones for me that I can remember. Just on every communication level, whether it was
on an astrology level, I was talking about.
But for communication, it was.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, it was work. It was an uphill climb, probably.
Yeah, and I feel the difference already. I literally feel the difference.
Yeah,
that we're out of it.
It's going to be great.
And now I feel like I'm raring to go.
Right. Because, it was kind of, gosh, these years have just been so intense for everybody.
Yes.
They really have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did when I did my talk on Generation X, why we deserve new branding. And, what our generation went through is, I always call us the integrators, because we had to integrate so much technology. We went from payphones to right? Payphones.
Oh my
Remember that?
gosh, you guys said everything.
We went through, cameras. We went from, Polaroid cameras to cameras with a little flash bulb that only had 4 lights that you used. You had to drop your film off at it. Like, we lived through all of this. We're not the instant gratification generation, because we had to delay.
Yeah, you did have to wait.
You had to wait. You couldn't just hit your cell phone, hit an Amazon button, and if the truck is in the area, they're going to drop it off in a couple hours. Like,
can you imagine? Really?
No.
I mean, life as we know it now, can get really sticky in the long run for people if it ever stops, and it will change. Everything changes.
It's so true. So I feel like we're the last generation to hold the truth of that reality, which is kind of important, because we had to integrate it, which meant that we had to up level and integrate every stage of the development, both technologically, how we used to be so like isolated in terms of like, we didn't have instant communication. We used a landline. You usually had one phone. We lived in the family where you had one phone. It was in the living room. You had to take turns using it. We all just share it. You had to wait till private time. You would drag the cord of the phone into the bedroom or the bathroom so the rest of the family couldn't hear you talking to your boyfriend. We've had to do all of that. And, it's a shared experience that we have. That,
or if you had another line, get off the phone.
Get off the phone. Yes. It's, exactly. I'm waiting for a call. Waiting was revolutionary. When you would get the beep, it was revolutionary.
That was revolutionary.
Yeah. So the fact that, we have cell phones and everybody has a phone, and everybody over 8 years old has a phone, and that we're, at 8, be connected by $1,000 devices on a daily basis, it's so changed, but and I'm not saying it's a negative thing. It's just that I think there are consequences to
everything
of that. Exactly. That we didn't have to experience. But if you're younger, you only know this reality. You only know this instantaneous reality.
Well, you can live in an illusion with the phone. The phone, you have to come back to living your real life, to having real friends, that, sitting down and having meals with people and with your family. It is very,
and I know you do that. Like, I know you're always with people.
I am.
Yeah,
I am. I was with one of my old employees yesterday for lunch. It was so much fun. We had so much fun. And, and she was 19 when she came to work for me and Richard. Yeah. So it's just really fun to talk to her and talk about old times, and, how she just said she loved to come to work every day. It was nice. And so, and then I had dinner with the Sutphen Shays.
Oh, fun.
That was, I'm always, and I think it's from my days of, they're the same way, it's like, oh, come on in, and yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah. That's so awesome. And I
also talking, 100 miles an hour, it's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Kids coming in and, being a part of that too. I'm so excited when, the kids want to do that.
And it's just so funny, because I always feel, and I think we relate, but I always feel like I travel the world through the people I know.
Yes.
And the connections that I have, so, and if people are only doing it through the cell phone, it's such it's a shallower world than you could have.
Well, and we've got to spend a lot of time over the last few years, and it's like, oh my gosh, can't wait till we do it again.
Yeah, more to come and more
the adventure. It's like Scott's like saying, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to be there. I want to see. Yeah.
Yes, and I do. I look forward to participating in one of your upcoming retreats, whether it's Siesta Key or Sedona.
Right, it is. Sounds wonderful. So, okay, so how can people reach you?
Well, if you're interested in the TEDx, it's TEDxFranklin.com. There's like a speaker's nomination, volunteer nomination, sponsorship. And if you're interested in TV Guestbird, just reach out to TV Guestbird, and TV Guestbird's on Facebook, Instagram, the website, and you can email me there. There's a Jacquie at TV Guestbird email for that. So thank you so much for asking.
Yeah. So I'm TaraInsight.com. And I'm, you can just do Tara Sutphen, which nobody can spell Sutphen. So, it becomes hard, but it's Sutphen. And, but Tara Insight usually comes around, on Instagram, and it's Tara_Insight actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love it. Love being here. What a great opportunity.
It is.
On your show.
It's wonderful to see you, Jacquie.
Thank you.
I know. I love you. And
love you too.
Lots of love and blessings to everybody. And happy Chinese New Year, Year of the Tiger. Let's go.
I am the tiger.
Tiger doesn't fear anything, remember. Okay. Lots of love, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Transformations with Tara. Tara hopes this program brings guidance and insight towards a better tomorrow. If you have any questions or inquiries, or would just like to know more about Tara Sutphen's workshops and seminars or private sessions, please visit her website now at TaraInsight.com. Until next time, many blessings.